name is Kathy, and today I'll be continuing the discussion on Bach Flower Essences and their practical use. Continuing with their use on ailments. Today we will look at the ailments that these essences can help with, continuing with the letter S2. But before I do this, I wanted to let you know that because I have a great many videos now on many different topics, that I've decided to make several different video playlists, so that it's easier to find the videos of greatest interest. So please check out my playlist page. Shame. For a lack of shame, use cherry plum. Shamelessness can be a way of venting emotional pressures. For excessive shame, shame is the expression of taboos placed on the individual by society to promote appropriate behavior. These taboos are deeply embedded in the emotional structure through threats and punishments and can inhibit certain kinds of behavior. When shame is thoughtful and reflective and indicative of our finer emotions, it can serve as a purpose. When it is unreflective, groundless, and forced upon us, however, it can inhibit the development of a healthy personality and lay the foundation of many psychic problems. For excessive shame, use agrimony. Agrimony is used when we act falsely and are afraid to show our true nature. For excessive shame, use crabapple. It can be taken when we have an excessive need for cleanliness and purity, especially with sexual behavior. For excessive shame, larch helps when our shame stems from feelings of inferiority. For excessive shame, pine is given when our shame is associated with guilt feelings. Shock. Shocks and traumas disrupt the existing order and clear the way for a better one. If we can transform a traumatic experience into a new form of knowledge or an important addition to our life experience, we become stronger, smarter, and more secure. Otherwise, we will be eliminated from the games of life. This happens when we cannot absorb a shock or trauma. It has something like the effect of a deep freeze on us. We lose our elasticity and flexibility and are easily shattered. It's good to use the little shocks of day-to-day life as a sort of practice for the larger, more devastating ones. For acute shock, use clematis, cherry plum, and rock rose, and rescue remedy. Clematis is for the tendency to faint, cherry plum is for falling to pieces, and rock rose works against panic. This combination constitutes part of rescue remedy. For the consequences of shock, use Star of Bethlehem. Star of Bethlehem helps relieve psychic numbness, which can arise as the result of a shock. For a shock reaction and for allergic reactions, use beech and holly. For shocking experiences leading to insecurity, use Serato and Star of Bethlehem. For shock causing unconsciousness, use clematis and Star of Bethlehem. Shyness, conformity, contact problems. We all have feelings about other people and know whether they have our well-being at heart or not. And we all have a tendency to categorize everyone we know as friends or enemies. When we feel strong, we fight to reach our goals, but when we feel defeated, we withdraw. This behavior can manifest itself as extreme shyness, especially when we are very sensitive or suffered through negative experiences or are amongst people who do not understand us and can seriously inhibit our ability to make contact with other people. Bach Flower Essences and/or psychotherapy is needed in these circumstances, especially for children. For shyness, conformity, and contact problems out of fear of showing who we are, use agrimony. For shyness, conformity, and contact problems due to fear, use aspen and mimulus. Shyness is a fear of other people. It can be eased with aspen when the cause is not entirely clear, or with mimulus when the cause is known. It can also be combined with Star of Bethlehem when the cause is an intimidating experience. For shyness, conformity, and contact problems due to feelings of inferiority, use larch. When we avoid contact with other people because we feel we won't be noticed, larch can help. When these feelings of inferiority arise from a discouraging experience, larch can be combined with Star of Bethlehem. For shyness, conformity, and contact problems due to pathological isolation, use water violet. Some people are by nature reserved. Water violet is needed only when their condition becomes a disadvantage or causes them unhappiness. Skin conditions. The skin is not just a protective layer, but above all, our largest excreting, reacting, and regulating organ. Skin conditions such as eczema, abscesses, and allergies are nearly always reactions to some inner disturbance and represent the organism's attempt to diffuse the problem by drawing it out of the body. Any treatment of skin conditions must therefore first be directed at inner problems. When we merely shut off the body's ventilation system, for example, with cortisone treatments, we are just making the skin unable to react properly, and so we will be intensifying the inner problems. Depending on the severity of the problem, this can be put the whole organism in danger. For psoriasis and duodenumatitis or the skin condition that starts with a patch of itchy skin and scratching makes it even itchier, this itch-scratch cycle causes the affected skin to become thick and leathery. In this case, use beech, crabapple, holly, impatiens, larch, and willow. There are nutritional, environmental, and psychic factors that contribute to these conditions. The more healthy our lifestyle, both physically and spiritually, the less often these conditions appear. Beech has positive effects on the allergic component. Crabapple purifies the blood and promotes the skin's reactive abilities. Holly lessens extreme reactions and claims the disposition. Impatience makes us calmer and more stable and lessens itching. Larch strengthens the feeling of self-worth when we are plagued by skin conditions and prevents us from feeling embarrassed. Willow works against negative attitudes and can cause skin reactions. For skin conditions with pus or abscesses, use crabapple. Pus is a function of blood purification. It is not an illness in itself, but a sign that the body is detoxifying itself. We should not try to eliminate or reduce pus, but instead allow it an outlet and support the body in its efforts, for example by giving crabapple combined with Star of Bethlehem. For skin conditions due to impurities, use crabapple and larch. Crabapple is the most important of the essences for purifying the blood. It should be used as a basic treatment for skin conditions. Larch strengthens our feelings of self-worth, especially if we are plagued with acne. For acne, use crabapple, larch, and walnut. Crabapple purifies the blood, larch treats self-rejection, and walnut restores hormonal balance and develops the personality. For skin conditions with itching, use impatiens. Impatience can have a positive influence on nervousness. Itching or tingling can be diluted and applied directly to the skin. Spinal problems. There is an inseparable bond between body and soul. Generally, we can recognize from afar what kind of mood someone is in or what kind of person he is. Continuous tension deforms the spine, as does an excessively servile disposition, or an inferiority complex, or stress. Proper posture is impossible without a straight spine. For osteoporosis, Use century, larch, mimulus, and mustard. Osteoporosis is an abnormal, sometimes painful reduction of bone matter, which can lead to fractures of the bones and spine. Medical science has uncovered many fascinating details, but has not devoted any attention to psychic factors. Medical treatment usually tries to rebuild bone matter, which brings a certain amount of improvement, but can also have harmful side effects. Complete recovery isn't possible unless treatment takes both body and soul into account. Allopathic treatment should be undertaken only in severe cases and only after other natural forms of treatment have proved ineffective. We should start by asking why the person is reducing the amount of bone matter. The answer lies in the function of a bone. It is a framework which helps us go through life upright and with confidence. With weak bones or a weak spine, we can't stand up to difficulties, stand at the same level as other people, or even lift ourselves above them. Reduction of bone makes people, to some extent, like lowly reptiles, and it always occurs when we lack the strength to stand upright that comes from a healthy sense of self-confidence. When we feel that we are inferior, less able, or weaker than those around us, we simply can't approach them upright. Our position and crooked back are signs of fear and submissiveness. The body reflects our inner state, and the frame loses its upright, resilient appearance. This comes as no surprise, since many menopausal women feel socially and sexually inferior when they lose their reproductive capabilities. An unconscious consequence is that they can no longer bear themselves upright and with self-confidence, which leads to poor bent posture and weakness of the spine. An example is that so-called widow's hump, which used to be quite common when widowhood meant a loss of social status. Osteoporosis in the thighs is also a common problem, distinguished by diminished walking ability and the typical and dangerous fractures of the femur in older people when they can no longer meet the demands of daily life. Any meaningful form of treatment or prevention must help restore or instill self-confidence. It is common knowledge that we are lost when we give up. The combination given here can help strengthen self-confidence and feelings of self-worth. It is also appropriate for older people who are having difficulty dealing with the loss of strength and ability that accompanies the aging process. It helps compensate with a corresponding increase in mental, spiritual, or human values and activities. Mimulus should also be given in cases of timidity and mustard in cases of depression. I have a great many videos now on many different topics, so I've decided to make several different video playlists so that it's easy to find the videos of greatest interest. So please check out my playlist page. Well, that's it for now. To stay up to date with my latest videos, make sure to subscribe to this free YouTube channel by clicking the red subscribe button right below this video. Take care.